Good morning, friend. Once again, it's Prashant Ajmera from Ajmera Law Group, going live on YouTube channel. Today, we're going to talk about the business immigration to New Brunswick, plus the study and settlement in New Brunswick. There are a number of ways in which one can go on settle in New Brunswick by study, by direct immigrations, and by business immigration. So today, we're going to talk about all these programs. One after the another. So one of the first program is the New Brunswick. It's a part of the Atlantic Canada, four provinces, and that's the first provinces after the Quebec. I visited this all these provinces in month of last August and September when I was in Canada. These are beautiful provinces with this very small populations, but it's a very vibrant communities in the small towns, particularly in Halifax and Prince Edward Islands. I saw an excellent opportunities for people to move to Atlantic Canada and Canadian provinces. So the New Brunswick has uh, two or three cities are there. St. John's, Fredericton are the major cities. That's where I stayed when I was there. So, if you wish to study, again and again, I'm telling that people are trying to study into our colleges. If you go and wish to study in a college, because you cannot afford the university educations or you do not wish to study in university, try to stay away from big cities like Toronto and the Vancouver. The reason being that all over the world people are coming to these provinces. So it's always better that you are away from the this provinces and in New Brunswick. New Brunswick has also good universities and colleges as well. Once again, there is a difference between a university and colleges. So when you are getting an admission, make sure that you are into a university, or if you are into the college, you are there for a purpose, or probably you are not in a position to obtain admission into a university. Uh, like any other provinces, if you study for 1 year, it gives you a 1 year of work permit. If you are there for a period of 2 years, and it gives you a 3 years of work permit. But it has some very interesting way to convert your immigration from student visa to the permanent immigration. So if you are already prepare your express entry profile, you are already studied and you are working in the New Brunswick, and if you have a job offer, certainly after the 1 year of an education, you can apply for an immigration. So 1 year of a study, you are already working in New Brunswick, you have a job offer, and you have created your express entry profile, then you can convert into an immigration. That's number one. Number two, New Brunswick also they pull out the applications from the express entry where they think that those profiles are appropriate to their provinces, and then they send out an invitations. So that's the second one. And the third one is an Atlantic Canada pilot program, is very interesting for the student visa, particularly because it requires only 1 year of an experience. You should have a 1 year of an education from a province, and obviously show a necessary English language. And if you have a job offer from anywhere in the Atlantic provinces from a designated employer, then also it can be converted into New Brunswick. If you have studied for 2 years in a New Brunswick, then it will convert into without a job offer. If you have studied for 2 years without a job offer, you can convert into without a work experience, you can convert into your permanent immigration, provided there is a company who is ready to give you a job offer. So that's the very good categories for people who are interested in settling in Canada, that you study for 2 years in New Brunswick, get a job offer, and if you have this job offer after your 2 years of study, you do not need any experience, and straight away you can apply for an immigration. So as you can see, the New Brunswick has provided a very good platforms or rules and regulations for people to immigrate. from student visa to the immigrations. So either you studied for 1 year, have a job offer, have a work experience, and then obtain an immigrations, or you have a 2 years of study, you have a job offer, and no experience is necessary, but you have necessary IELTS, and then on that basis you can obtain the immigrations. Once you have job, you can apply online. Now all the applications are dealt with in an online, and once you have done it in online manner, then you can go for the nominations. Once you have a nominations, you apply according to the permanent residence of Canada. So that's the basic skill work in Canada, in New Brunswick. And if you have 1 year of an experience, study, 1 year of an experience, and you have a job offer, and you can apply for a PR. The third category is that you are studying in New Brunswick for 2 years, and you have a job offer, but you have no work experience, then also you can apply. So it's better to go to a New Brunswick, study for 2 years, find an employer who is ready to hire you, and on that basis, you can obtain an immigration from Canada. So that gives you a permanent immigration of Canada. So these are the basic program requirement. It includes this, what I mentioned to you is an Atlantic pilot program. In Atlantic pilot program also, what the government has registered on their websites, they will verify that whether this company really needs a job offer or not. If they really agree, and based on that one, you can obtain an immigration for Ontario, for New Brunswick as well. So it has a number of programs are there. There is a lot of flexibilities are there. The language requirement is only 6. There is a direct flights are which are going to New Brunswick from Montreal and Toronto, and even from USA, because you remember that part of the New Brunswick is very near to US border as well. So strategically, it's very nice and very beautiful provinces there. Lifestyles and everything is very laid back and easy. So people who wish to have a really quality of life and also living in Canada, I think New Brunswick and all this Atlantic province is one of the ideal place to look at it, or ideal place to settle. Now, this next program is into the international means the business immigration program. Under the business immigration program of the New Brunswick, it's the only province right now which is offering the direct PR after the business. So here how it works, that you need to show that you have a 600,000 in an assets. You are ready to make an investment of about $250,000 in a business. You have a very solid business plan. You have got the documents verified by the Indian and a Canadian chartered accountant. You have made an exploratory trip for a period of 5 days to New Brunswick. Once you have gone to New Brunswick for a period of 5 days, after the 5 days, you have also made a part of your business plan, your exploratory trip, and you have learned about doing business in New Brunswick. With that one, you make an application online. Once your application is approved, then the government will ask you to submit all the documents along with the verifications of the assets as well. Once you receive the verifications of the document, means assets by the Canadian chartered accounting firm like a Grant Thornton and M&L, these are the accounting firms which has been recognized. You can. It's not going to last for a very long period of time. So New Brunswick is right now an ideal province to apply for the business immigration because it gives you a direct PR. No doubt you do not have to temporary visit, but you have to give $1 lakh or 50 lakh rupees as a deposit to the government. When you finish your 2 years period of time, 1 year period of running and managing business in New Brunswick, you can uh, withdraw this money or government will give you this money. During this 1 year period of time, obviously you have to create 2 jobs, and the government is going to monitor you and come and visit you at least 2 to 3 times during this 1 year, just to make sure that you are there, you are running and managing a business, you are involved in the business, and you are performing as the New Brunswick business program is there. Once again, I would like to, in general, mention to you a few of the tips which I always talk about when it comes to study in Canada and settlements, because everybody thinks that study in Canada is the only way to immigrate to Canada. They are completely wrong. There are number of ways whereby you can immigrate to Canada under the express entry, with a job offer, without a job offer, certain occupations, or if you study the right program, then also it can convert into an immigration as well. If you are thinking about studying in Canada, first give a priority to the university and not to the colleges. If you wish to learn a French language, English language, always go to an institute where they are not doing the student visa processing. Uh, do not depend on, for your finances, do not depend on that once I reach to the Canada I will find a job and it will finance my education. I know number of families, those who are studying with my children here in India, that initially they realize it, that for a 1 year they can finance their child's education. But after a short period of time, they realize it that the cost of financing is very, very high. uh, 25 to $30,000 to give in a fees per year. That means almost 15 to 17 lakh rupees. So over the period of 4 years of university study, it's going to be 60 to 70 lakh rupees, which is a very large amount of money, or up to 100, more than that. So they have to take some drastic measures and probably send a wife to Canada under the work permit. So that's the kind of a situation doesn't arise. So if you want your child to study after the 12th, send it only to a university, number one, and make sure that you have finances worked out. And earlier that you do uh, planning for your child's foreign education is better, because most of the parents, when they come to us when their child has just passed the 12 standards or they have finished the bachelor's degree. In my opinion, to study in Canada or in the residency and citizenship by investments, if you are very wealthy, because it can reduce your child's education fees by 80%. So residency and citizenship by investment is one of the most appropriate way to uh, have your children educated and settle in foreign countries. If that's not the case, you should consider investing into a real estate in foreign countries at early, rather than investing in India. You should invest. If you do not like investing into the real estate, you should try to invest into a foreign stock market. If you cannot do that one, probably you want to expand. So basically, my message is that if you want your child to study abroad, obviously every parent is saving the money. If you are saving the money for your child's foreign educations and so on and so forth, rather than create one, or because of the currency exchange rate. Now you can imagine that, say for example, you want your child to go and study in Canada right now. Today the rate is about a 55 rupees. If you would have made this investment in Canada in a real estate about 3 or 4 years or 5 years back, the dollar to rupee was only 50 rupees. Not only that, but that dollar will earn you in dollar as well. So that itself is also a big saving for you, and big income for you. So rather than earning in rupee, saving in rupee, and then financing your child's education in foreign currency is a difficult task. It's very, very difficult task. And I don't think that it is a smart way to do it. So if you want your children to study and settle abroad, for a second option, not that running away from in India, but as a second option, please start considering the investment abroad, either into a real estate. First, my advice would be you do the residency and citizenship by investment. If that's not the case, you do it by the making an investment into real estate, investment into stock market, investment into a business, or some kind of an assets where you can make you and park your money so it can be used for your child's educations. You can put in the money into the, like a fixed deposits or a government bonds in many countries, and our law firm is in a position to advise you on this all this aspect of an investment, irrespective of the country you want your children to study and settle. So these are the comprehensive way to look at it, the whole programs, and particularly the residency and citizenship. Gone are the days where you can think that, okay, I'll send your my child abroad and his life is set. That's no more a case because all over the world. 25 years, 30 years back, when I was promoting the Canada immigrations, I had to show to the people where the Canada is in the map. Now the clients are coming to us, they are very well informed. Tons and tons of information is available on YouTube channel. This is Ajmera Law Group. Please do not forget to subscribe. Send us your feedbacks or a comment. We'll be more than happy to cover in our future episode. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Islands. Both provinces, we're trying to do it probably together because the regulation requirement is not that big, or we might do it on a Tuesday as well. And we have a very good social media where the Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube channels are all there. Twitter is also there. So all these videos are available. We have done the series of YouTube. We cannot go into the more details, but I have given a high, which if you look at it, definitely. Thank you very much.